Enthusiasts have nicknamed this car the Rocket.
And I think I understand why they call it that. Back in the 90s, Mercedes and BMW had a fierce rivalry, and because of that, the world was introduced to the W210 E55 and the E39 M5 in 1998. Today's spotlight is on the 2002 Mercedes-Benz E55 AMG with its naturally aspirated 5.4-liter V8 engine. So what makes this car so special, and why is it called the Rocket? Well, I think we should jump in and find out.
Love it or hate it, the design of the W210 Mercedes E-Class is unmistakable. Slap some AMG monoblock rims on there, and that slight smoke on the taillights are almost the only noticeable traits to let you know that this isn't your dad's E430. Those round headlights are distinctive to the E-Class family, along with that massive single wiper blade that really has its own cult following. Despite the large V8 engine, there's a considerable amount of room under the hood to be able to wrench on the car yourself. Considering the list of common problems associated with the W210, it might be the only way you can afford one of these cars. Inside you're greeted with some of the most comfortable perforated seats I've ever sat in. Space inside is great, with plenty of legroom for the driver. Typical Mercedes seat controls are found in the door, along with wood accents that wrap around the controls and along the top of the door card. The doors are also equipped with side impact airbags. To the left of the steering wheel is the trip computer reset buttons, the headlight controls, and parking brake release. The leather-wrapped AMG Sport steering wheel is similar to that found in the next generation of Mercedes sedans, with cluster computer and media controls along either side of the steering wheel. The center console is well laid out. Along the top and under the center air vents are the heated seat controls, headlight washer, rear headrest release, hazard switch, central locking system, and finally, the tow mode button. Below is the dual zone automatic climate control system with charcoal filtration, and below that is the Mercedes-Benz audio system. A navigation system was offered on the W210 from 2000 onward. ESP, window switches, mirror switches, trunk release, and the rear window shade controls are all located around the touch shift leather-wrapped gear lever, and beside the console are the controls for the multi-contour seats. Rear seating space is well proportioned with adequate room for passengers. The window controls and airbags are located along the doors, much like the front seats. And once again, we're at that point of the review where it's time to get behind the wheel and take this E55 AMG for a drive.
When I was looking to get my E38 about a year and a half ago, I was seriously considering a W210 E55 AMG. There was a teal on black that I saw. I think it was a 2001 model. It had everything, navigation, parking sensors. I believe it also had air-conditioned seats, but I could be wrong. But it had everything that I wanted out of the car. But it was twice the price of the 7 Series at the time. And I think I can understand why. This car has a ton of power. You just put your foot to the floor and it goes. The thing that I absolutely love about cars in the 90s is just overall visibility. These A-pillars are almost paper thin. Like you can't complain. Like, okay, maybe if we got in a rollover collision, I'd be dead, but I'd rather trade that to actually be able to see out of the windows. These windows are huge, and I'm very low to the ground, which is something that I very rarely get to do in any car, whether it's a new or old one. I'm actually much lower. If I put my arm up, my arm's kind of almost too high for where I'd like it to be. And I like that. The thing about buying an E55 of this generation is really just understated performance. Anybody who knows about this car will know when they see the back of it that it's an E55 AMG. But as you're driving down the street, people aren't really going to be turning their head and looking because they don't really know what it is. It looks exactly like an E320 of the same year. It's only those who know that it's got some serious power are the ones that are going to know what it's about. I do like that understated ability to be able to drive through town and not have to be so conspicuous. It's a nice feeling to be able to just drive around and mind your own business and enjoy the drive rather than kind of showing off a little bit. Hello, operator. Well, the 90s were a great time with your car phones. Kind of miss that. Sunroof is like massive compared to pretty much every other car I've driven. One of the changes that they did with the facelift W210 is underneath the speedometer, you've got a digital display, which is a little bit higher detail than what you get on the older ones. Now, they did have a cluster pixel issue, just like with the E38 and E39 BMWs. So this particular car has had that screen replaced, but you might have to do that if you're looking at a W210, because often those screens will fall apart. This super rich neighborhood in Waterdown, Ontario is really home for the W210 E55. There's one right there. Not an E55, but probably an E430. There's a first generation ML. This is Mercedes country. You know what, let's go this way. This car is so understated, but so much fun. This is the perfect car to have. Only the people that know about it are going to be looking at you. You can drive down the street, nobody's going to give you nasty looks because your car is a race car. There's a little C-Class right there. It does not take long to get you into danger territory with the speed. I'm going to say it right now. This is the ultimate long distance cruising car. Easily. I guarantee that this car will go forever. It's got cruise control too, so you just set it and forget it. But it is just got the power when you want it. It is absolutely comfortable on these back roads here. And the visibility, I think the visibility is what I'm most surprised about. I can see everything. Who needs mirrors at this point? A pillars are teeny tiny, B pillars are nice and small, and that back window is massive. Like, this car is just everything that you want in a car. And you think somebody's going to be going to Mercedes-Benz Burlington here, picking out a brand new Mercedes-Benz AMG, when this is the car you really want. This is the one that I want. Just sounds great. Red line's at 6,000. Once it hits that, oof, that sound out of that exhaust is just perfect. Should ask some people as we drive by. I think we're going to be going through Waterdown again. Excuse me, sir, did you know that this is an AMG? Let's see if this guy cares. Nope, he didn't give a shit. It's that time of the drive again where I have to decide if I made a mistake not buying this car. Did I? Probably. Do I regret it? Maybe. I'm gonna miss this car. I'm gonna have to get me one.
There's a reason this car is called the Rocket. That V8 engine puts power to the pavement in a way that thrusts this car into the D dimension. But with great power comes great problems. The number one issue for the W210 is rust, including the doors, bumpers, hood, trunk, and fenders. Rust will also eat away the front strut tower mounts, engine mounts, and the coolant pipes. Issues with the transmission have been reported as well, sluggish shifting, and a weird noise could develop with the differential that you just end up having to live with. Be careful about tinting the windows. You'll need to place some felt on the inner door trim to prevent the tint from scratching, but that's assuming your window regulators haven't failed already. Specific to the E55, you'll be replacing the mass airflow sensor more often than other cars, and the brakes are more expensive than your run-of-the-mill kit, even when compared to other sports cars like the E39 BMW M5. That said, these cars are wonderful to own, even if you're in the market for the E430 or E320. Finding a well-maintained and rust-free example will be difficult, especially for the E55s, but there are plenty of them out there. The prices haven't started to creep up yet, but I can see that the W210 E55 AMG is becoming a future classic. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Test Drive Spotlight on the 2002 Mercedes-Benz E55 AMG. As always, your support is what makes this show possible, and your comments and likes are what make this show grow. We appreciate all the new subscribers and hope that you'll join us here if you haven't done so already. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon.